Yeah, Vanessa and Jared, the sheriff's office is pushing back on that, and the report specifically arguing that the findings don't involve discriminatory policing or even civil rights concerns. The Monitor's team, who put that report together, though, is highlighting issues it sees with internal investigations, and they say that's just as important.
I'm not surprised.
Raul Pena has been on the Community Advisory Board for a decade, working with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office and the federal monitoring team to implement reforms.
There's layers of leadership that are causing red flags to come up.
Over the phone, Pena shared his reaction to the latest Monitor's report, which shows where MCSO stands on making the court-ordered changes. The allegations date back to 2007 under then-Sheriff Joe Arpaio. The ACLU filed a class action lawsuit on behalf of Latino drivers alleging unconstitutional targeted immigration enforcement. The Monitor was put in place in 2013 to oversee that effort. But this new report found them backsliding on key areas of reform where they'd previously been in full and effective compliance. Areas of concern: Sheriff's Office leadership considered changing a deputy's off-duty driving under the influence citation, which currently requires dismissal, into something less severe, which would have helped an existing employee. The Monitor team also started a special inquiry into the handling of complaints against a then Professional Standards Bureau commander, who they say was allowed to have an attorney present. It was approved by the sheriff, but not permitted by policy. Quote, "These were concerted efforts to break the rules, ignore policy and statute, and violate court orders."
It's really sad to see us going backward, and the PSB chaos is just an indicator of that, and it's very concerning.
In response, MCSO writes, "Reasonable people may disagree with administrative decisions. Those disagreements, however, should not be confused with a failure to investigate complaints, a refusal to follow the law, a disregard for constitutional policing, or the court's orders." All of this comes as a sheriff's office has filed a motion asking for the judge to reconsider this federal oversight. A hearing on that is scheduled for next Friday. The Monitor's team references that in its report, saying their findings are not a part of that. They place the blame squarely with the sheriff and those in leadership there. Amy Cutler, Arizona's Family Investigator.